विशाल है ना, इसका सब प्रॉपर चलता है।
कल उसके बैंक अकाउंट में 15,000 रुपए का फ्रॉड हुआ है, पता है?
इसको तो कोई टेंशन ही नहीं होती है, देखना।
टेंशन क्यों? मेरी कोई गलती नहीं थी। फिर भी फ्रॉड होने पर मैंने तुरंत बैंक को इन्फॉर्म कर दिया। आरबीआई कहता है अगर आपके अकाउंट से किसी ने धोखे से पैसे निकाले हैं तो बैंक को जल्द से जल्द इन्फॉर्म कीजिए। 3 दिन के अंदर इन्फॉर्म किया तो कोई नुकसान नहीं होगा। जितना लेट करोगे उतना ज्यादा नुकसान। और सुन, सब चलता नहीं है, प्रॉपर चलाना पड़ता है। आरबीआई कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
We bring to you a panel of doctors who will bust all the myths and doubts on COVID-19. In this hour-long program, you can ask questions from our panelists.
We have to make sure that all of us stay at home. It is very important that we make contact with other people as minimum as possible.
Follow this hand hygiene practice each time you go and wash your hands, and soap and water is the best.
You have traveled to outside for 14 days to the affected.
Every home has a story, and in every story, there's a home. It is about you, your relationships, your family. This is the home of your stories. Give your relationships an opportunity to grow and make them beautiful. For you and your near and dear ones, LIC Housing Finance makes a humble request. Stay home. Stay safe.
The nationwide lockdown has been ordered in India to prevent the spread of the virus. At this critical juncture, it is crucial that we are empowered with all the facts and updates about this outbreak. In this special presentation tracking COVID-19, we will take stock of developments in India and rest of the world.
Hello and welcome. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. It's good to have you again with us. You're watching a special broadcast here on DD India. We're calling it #Tracking COVID-19. Remember, DD India is your one-stop destination for all information related to COVID-19. And it goes without saying, we at DD India are taking particular care to give you, the viewer, accurate, authentic, and authoritative information so that you don't fall prey to rumors or fake news. Now, trust me, wherever in the world you might be, it is in your interest to follow advisories, protocols, or guidelines issued by the authorities concerned. So, stay at home, maintain social distancing, use masks and gloves, and importantly, wash your hands regularly with soap. All right, then let's get started. First up, the headlines. Government lifts restrictions on the export of select COVID-19 related pharma products. MEA says the decision was taken after confirming the availability of medicines for all possible contingencies. Paracetamol and hydroxychloroquine to remain in the licensed category. Group of ministers meets at Defence Minister Rajnath Singh's residence to discuss COVID-19 strategy. The group of ministers has been meeting regularly to coordinate the response to the pandemic. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal says his government will resort to the 5 T's of testing, tracing, treatment, teamwork and tracking and monitoring to handle COVID-19 crisis. The confirmed COVID-19 cases across the globe touches 13 lakh with more than 70,000 fatalities. Japan declares emergency in Tokyo and 6 other provinces to combat the coronavirus. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson remains in the ICU. The WHO says lockdowns are proving effective in many places, says lifting of restrictions require data-based calibrated approach. All right, first up, news from India. The Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry, Love Agarwal, says no decision has been taken on extending the lockdown. He asked media not to speculate on this issue. Listen in.
ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इससे पहले भी क्लियरली आदेश दिए हैं कि जब तक कोई ऑथेंटिक इंफॉर्मेशन ना हो तो पब्लिक में कंफ्यूजन, भय की परिस्थिति उत्पन्न होने के चांसेस हैं. जो भी कोई डिसीजन लिया जाएगा बेस्ड ऑन द अवेलेबल फैक्ट्स, वी विल डेफिनेटली ब्रिंग इट टू योर नोटिस. एंड टिल द टाइम ए डिसीजन इज नॉट ऑफिशियली कम्युनिकेटेड, जब तक हम आपको ऑफिशियली कोई कम्युनिकेट ना करें तो आप काइंडली उस पर स्पेकुलेट ना करें.
Meanwhile, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal briefs the media on the coronavirus situation in the national capital. He says the Delhi government has prepared a 5-point action plan to contain the spread of coronavirus. Take a listen.
पहला टी है टेस्टिंग. हमने ये देखा कि जिन जिन देशों ने टेस्टिंग नहीं की वो जब कोरोना फैल गया तो उसको कोरोना को नियंत्रित नहीं कर पाए. दूसरा हमारा टी है, दूसरी बिंदु है ट्रेसिंग. हमारा तीसरा टी है ट्रीटमेंट. चौथा टी हमारा है टीम वर्क. आज सारी सरकारें एक टीम की तरह काम कर रही हैं, राजनीति से ऊपर उठ के. और पांचवा टी है ट्रैकिंग एंड मॉनिटरिंग.
All right, now to the COVID-19 updates from India and around the world. We'll pull up some data for you. India at a glance, active COVID-19 cases at around 4,000 in the country as of this moment. And we'll keep reviewing the numbers going forward as well. Number of deaths has got up to 114. I'm told the number has gone up by 10 to 124. Persons cured or discharged at 325 across India. And the total number of cases in excess of 4,000 as we speak. Now, the maximum cases have been reported from the state of Maharashtra at around 750 cases. That's from one state alone. And moving on to the next second highest number of 621 coming from Tamil Nadu down south. Third place goes to Delhi at 523 deaths so far. And Kerala comes fourth at 327 deaths so far. Now, the maximum deaths have been reported from Maharashtra at around 45. That number has gone up again, I'm told 58. Number of deaths, 12 in Gujarat. Moving on to the other states of Madhya Pradesh at 9 and Delhi and Telangana at around 7 persons apiece. That's 7 deaths in Delhi and Telangana. Now to the world at a glance. Confirmed cases in excess of almost 1.3 million as we speak. That's the worldwide count. Moving on to the deaths, some more 70,000 cases as of now, 70,000 deaths across the world. This is coming from the WHO. Cases reported on 6th April is in excess of 77,000 cases. Next up, we have the maximum deaths at around 15,889 reported from one country, that's Italy. Next up, Spain at 12,418. The third highest cases comes from the US at 9,559. Fourth is France at around 8,000 deaths so far. And finally, the UK at around 5,000 deaths, 4,934 to be precise, followed by Iran at 3,739, and finally China, which has stabilized at 3,340. Right, now time now for the Ground Zero segment, in which we get you reports from our correspondents across the country. In an effort to provide relief to millions of labourers hit by the lockdown in Karnataka, the government there has come up with another unique initiative. It's providing a kitchen kit with ingredients to run a kitchen for about 20 days. Asha Khanum reports from Bengaluru. Take a look.
Karnataka government is fighting the crisis of coronavirus on a war footing, and this war footing is visible here at this hall, wherein the government, the Labour Department, is preparing special kits to lakhs of migrant labourers and the workers who are stranded here in Karnataka, and these special grocery kits are being sent to these migrants, to the labourers. And look at the special items in these grocery kits, and they have all essential items. There are vegetables, there is rice, there is masala powder, there is oil, and there is salt, and even pickle. So the government is sending these kits, which are sufficient for the family of 4 to 5, and which will last for about 15 to 20 days. So a small mini kitchen shelf is being prepared in this grocery kit and being sent out to the labourers. So more than 1 lakh labourers will be benefited with these kits, and the government hopes that this will be sufficient to the labourers and to the migrants. So Karnataka government, together with the civil defence volunteers who are working here round the clock, working to pack these essential groceries, have come forward like true soldiers and working hard along with the government, lending a helping hand to the government, and with the motto that together we will win this war against Corona. Aisha Khanam, DD India, Bangalore.
All right, let's move from Karnataka now to Maharashtra, as members of the Tablighi Jamaat failed to report at the Mumbai authorities despite requests from the government and the police. An FIR has been registered against them under various sections of IPC and Disaster Management Act against almost 150 Tablighis in Azad Nagar police station. Our correspondent Yogesh Sheetal reports. Take a look.
After Mumbai Police Commissioner Paramveer Singh had requested the attendees of Tablighi events at Nizamuddin, New Delhi to the BMC office in Mumbai, today Mumbai Police have registered an FIR against 150 Tablighis under different sections, sections 188, sections 269 and also section 270 under IPC under different charges of disobedience, and also there are other charges involved there. It is also noted that not only Police Commissioner but also Health Minister of Maharashtra Rajesh Tope had earlier made a request to attendees to report to the authorities so that if they are positive then quarantined or any other procedural things could be done, but they have not reported, and that's the reason why this FIR has been lodged today. Also very important things that this is basically Tablighi's event is basically a prime catalyst in spreading this coronavirus, because many of them who attended this event have found positive, and that's the reason why the concern is very high, and that's the main reason why state authority, including police, including ministry, and also including authorities are working overtime to find out the people who have attended this event from Mumbai and also other pockets of Maharashtra like Aurangabad, like Nanded, and also other districts of Maharashtra. So since the FIR has been lodged, it is expected that some of the attendees may report to the police after the FIR has been lodged, or may be arrested or detained later on. With cameraman Bhageswari, this is Yogesh Kumar Sheetal for DD News, Maharashtra.
All right, let's now move to the northeast of India, where Meghalaya continues to be one of the few states free of COVID-19 infections. The state government is therefore trying to strike a balance between caution and ease with its measures. Our correspondent Gautam S. Kumar filed this report. Take a look.
Another day of lockdown in Meghalaya and another day of zero infections. With Tripura reporting a case yesterday night, Meghalaya remains one of the only 3 states that have been free of COVID-19 infections. Yet, at the same time, the state government is taking no chances. The latest advisory from the state government requests that all people wear masks when in public. While this led to some resentment and confusion initially, as masks were not available, the government has moved quickly and ensured that by 10th of April, at least a 3 lakh supply of masks would be made available. This would be through a combination of procurement from outside the state as well as production from within the state through SHGs and NGOs. With the end of the 21-day lockdown period approaching, the state cabinet yesterday sat down and had a slew of decisions, primary of which is that it will allow private transportation from the 15th of April, which includes inter-district transportation. Transportation to inside the state and outside the state, however, will remain shut. markets will also start functioning on a weekly basis. The government has also appealed to all Meghalayan who are currently residing outside the state to stay put at least till the end of the month. An additional measure that the government of Meghalaya has introduced is to compensate daily wage earners at a rate of 700 rupees per worker per week. Thus, the government is instituting a lot of measures to ensure that life slowly but steadily gets back to normal. But as with all recent government instructions, the instructions ended with the government asking people to maintain social distance, to remain indoors, and to not be complacent. Reporting for DD Meghalaya, this is Gautam S. Kumar.
All right, that was all the news from India. Time now for ground report from our Foreign Bureau. Now, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson remains in an intensive care unit in London. He spent the night there after being moved into intensive care on 6th April after his condition worsened. Foreign Minister Dominic Raab will deputise for Johnson where necessary while he is being treated. My colleague Holly Hudson has more from London. Take a look.
The UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has spent a second night in a hospital, this time in intensive care at St Thomas's, just a mile away from the Houses of Parliament. Downing Street say that his condition worsened since he was admitted on Sunday night following his diagnosis for COVID-19 10 days earlier. His symptoms had persisted. He was moved to the ICU and given oxygen. We're told he is still conscious and not yet on a ventilator, but that of course could change imminently should it become necessary. No doubt very unnerving and alarming news for the nation as it battles what the Prime Minister himself described as a national emergency. The Prime Minister's deputy, Dominic Raab, who Boris Johnson has formally asked to deputise for him, becomes essentially the de facto Prime Minister and steps up. He sought to reassure the nation, saying that the Prime Minister is in safe hands, receiving the best care, and vowed that the government would bring the country through the pandemic, saying there was an incredibly strong team spirit behind Boris Johnson and that ministers would focus on delivering the plans that he put in place. It is, of course, though, going to be very challenging for the government at this unprecedented time to cope without their figurehead, despite all the reassurances. Well wishes have been coming in from politicians across the UK and leaders around the world. Emmanuel Macron, Angela Merkel and Donald Trump, who said that he'd been in touch with leading companies who've been working on possible treatments in the US and asked them to contact London to help his friend, who he described as something very special. Britain's prayers, of course, too, with the 55-year-old Prime Minister and his family. He is, of course, expecting a baby with his pregnant fiancée, Carrie Symonds, later this year. She herself is recovering, having suffered symptoms of the coronavirus. So the nation very much anxiously waiting for any positive news, hoping that the Prime Minister will recover from what is clearly a very severe case of COVID-19, proving that this disease really doesn't discriminate.
All right, shifting focus from the UK to mainland Europe now. There are signs of hope from Spain as it enters its fourth week of lockdown. Spain has reported a continued decline in the number of new cases and deaths. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez says relaxing the lockdown is not yet an option. There are also signs of improvement in Italy, which has reported the lowest death toll in over 2 weeks. Lucy Ho gets you this report from Brussels. Take a listen.
There are more signs of hope from Spain as it enters its fourth week of lockdown. A continued decline in the number of new cases and deaths. The death toll is down from 809 on Saturday to 637 on Monday. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said over the weekend that relaxing the lockdown measures is not yet an option. The next phase will be testing everyone with symptoms and studying the effectiveness of wearing face masks in public. There are also signs of improvement in Italy, which has reported the lowest death toll in over 2 weeks. Authorities there saying the country is now past the peak of the epidemic, but is warning of a difficult few months ahead. The lockdown measures in place are likely to be extended into May. Austria is becoming the first European country to announce plans to begin the transition back to normal life, allowing some non-essential shops to reopen next week after the Easter weekend. Meanwhile, here in Brussels, finance ministers from the Eurogroup are meeting via teleconference on Tuesday, with the EU's emergency bailout fund, the ESM, likely to be used to extend credit lines to badly hit countries like Italy and Spain to mitigate the economic damage of the coronavirus. Lucy Hoff, DoorDash News, Brussels.
Right, now take a look at what else is making news around the world. UK Foreign Minister Dominic Raab says Prime Minister Boris Johnson is in quote-unquote very good hands. Johnson was in intensive care on Tuesday after receiving oxygen support for serious COVID-19 complications, leaving Raab to lead the government's response to the accelerating outbreak. Johnson was admitted to St Thomas's Hospital across the River Thames from the UK Parliament on Sunday after suffering persistent coronavirus symptoms, including a high temperature and a cough, for more than 10 days. In more news from the UK, Queen Elizabeth has sent a message of enduring appreciation to health workers on the occasion of World Health Day, thanking all those working in the healthcare profession for their selfless commitment and diligence. The Queen said, in testing times, we often observe that the best of the human spirit comes to the fore. She said, and I quote here, the dedication to service of countless nurses, midwives and other health workers in these most challenging of circumstances is an example to us all. My family and I send our enduring appreciation and good wishes, unquote. Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe declared a state of emergency to fight new coronavirus infections in major population centers and unveil a stimulus package he described as among the world's biggest to soften the economic blow. The state of emergency giving authorities more power to press people to stay at home and businesses to close will last through 6th May and be imposed in the capital Tokyo and 6 other provinces, accounting for almost 44% of Japan's population. The pace of coronavirus deaths in Spain ticked up slightly for the first time in 5 days today, with 743 people succumbing overnight. That compared to 637 people who died during the previous 24 hours in the nation. Now, Spain has the second highest toll of fatalities in the world from the COVID-19 pandemic. The Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has extended emergency loans to finance Chinese cities to upgrade their public health response capacities in dealing with the novel coronavirus disease as well as future health crises. The AIIB Board of Directors has approved the sovereign-backed loan of about $355 million. It's the bank's first emergency assistance loan, aiming to strengthen the public health emergency response capacity in the Chinese municipalities of Beijing and Chongqing. World Health Organization's Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus strongly condemned racist remarks made on French television. He said that this kind of racist remarks from a couple of scientists actually would not help. It goes against the solidarity, adding that Africa cannot and will not be a testing ground for any vaccine. Now, last week, 2 French doctors made suggestions in a televised debate that trials could be carried out in Africa to see if a tuberculosis vaccine could prove effective against the novel coronavirus. French Health Minister Olivier Véran said that France has not yet reached the peak of its COVID-19 pandemic. Véran told broadcaster BFM TV, and I quote here, "We're still at a phase where the epidemic is worsening," unquote, citing admissions to intensive care units which are still rising. He also said that the country's lockdown would last as long as necessary. Meanwhile, the Chinese mainland reported 32 new confirmed COVID-19 cases on Monday, all imported ones. No death was reported, but there were 12 new suspected cases. On Monday, 89 more people were discharged from hospital after recovery and nearly 2,400 people removed from medical observation, while the number of severe cases decreased by about 54. No new confirmed case was reported on the day in Hubei province. All right, before I take your leave, I want to remind the viewers, because you are important to us at DD India, please stay at home, stay safe, maintain social distancing, wear a mask and gloves, and most importantly, please remember to wash your hands regularly with soap, because that's the one sure shot way of preventing the spread of coronavirus in the country today as we speak, because people are dying from this pandemic, and you and I need to, we are in it together to contain the spread and combat COVID-19 as well. That's a wrap on this special broadcast, but news continues here on DD India. You can catch all the latest updates on our social media, mobile and digital platforms. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Come on boys, let's go practice. अरे रुक यार, मेरे बैंक अकाउंट में गलत एंट्री का प्रॉब्लम हो गया है। तो बैंक को कंप्लेन करना। बैंक को लिखे 1 महीना हो गया है, बट वो गूगली पे गूगली डाले जा रहा है। तो आरबीआई के बैंकिंग लोकपाल को इन्फॉर्म करो।
रुक, मैं समझाता हूँ। जैसे क्रिकेट में थर्ड अंपायर, वैसे ही आरबीआई का बैंकिंग ओम्बड्समैन। आरबीआई कहता है अगर बैंक आपकी कंप्लेंट को 1 महीने में नहीं सुलझाता तो आरबीआई के बैंकिंग ओम्बड्समैन में कंप्लेंट करो। यह आरबीआई का आसान तरीका है आपकी कंप्लेंट सुलझाने का, और वो भी फ्री।
समझे?
आरबीआई कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
Every home has a story, and in every story, there's a home. It is about you, your relationships, your family. This is the home of your stories. Give your relationships an opportunity to grow and make them beautiful. For you and your near and dear ones, LIC Housing Finance makes a humble request. Stay home. Stay safe.
A nationwide lockdown has been ordered in India to prevent the spread of the virus. At this critical juncture, it is crucial that we are empowered with all the facts and updates about this outbreak. In this special presentation tracking COVID-19, we will take stock of developments in India and rest of the world.
Hello and welcome to our special one-hour program, COVID-19 Doctors Speak. This is the show where we put you in touch directly with doctors and healthcare experts to answer all your queries, clear any doubts about the coronavirus pandemic, which has been spreading across the country as well as the world. Social distancing, of course, remains key to fighting this disease, and best practices can be figured out and incorporated into our lives with the advice of our experts. Our numbers you can call in line every moment now are 011-2338-7031 and 011-2309-7655. Our lines are open now. You can see the numbers flashing at the bottom of the screen as well. You can ask your questions English और in हिंदी या अंग्रेजी दोनों भाषाओं में आप अपना सवाल कर सकते हैं. कुछ भी आप कोविड-19 जो एक संक्रमण फैला हुआ है उसके बारे में जानना चाहें, आप हमें फ़ोन कर सकते हैं. हमारे साथ डॉक्टर्स मौजूद हैं, ये एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, इस सारे मामले के साथ डील कर रहे हैं. हर दिन हर तरीके की जो चुनौतियां सामने आ रही हैं उससे, तो ये हर सवाल का जवाब देने में सक्षम होंगे आपके लिए. आप जान सकते हैं कि इस आउटब्रेक के साथ किस तरह से लड़ना है, फाइट करना है, और जिस